This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Okay, here in the Power Center client, we have four tools, right? We have power in the Power Center client. We have four tools. Name of the tools are Repository Manager, Designer, Workflow Manager, and Workflow Monitor. Okay, there are four tools in Power Center Design. Sorry, Power Center client. Here we have a Power Center client, which is a front end one. It's a front end environment. Okay, within this Power Center client, we have various tools. Are like first one is Repository Manager, Designer, Workflow Manager, Workflow Monitor. These are the four tools are available in the Power Center client. Okay, here you can find out them from start programs. This is the Informatica Power Center client. That to Power Center client. It has four tools. It has four tools like Power Center Designer, Repository Manager, Workflow Manager, and Workflow Monitor. Actually, order is Repository Manager. First one is the Repository Manager. Next Designer. Third one Workflow Manager, and fourth one is Workflow Monitor. The first one is the Repository Manager. So what is the use of the Repository Manager means? The Repository Manager used to manage various repositories created by the administrator. The Informatica administrator creates one or more repositories and manage those repositories in the Repository Manager tool. So here this is the Repository Manager tool. Within this Repository Manager tool, these are the repositories. Totally, there are almost 9 repositories are created. These repositories are created by the administrator actually in the Informatica administrator home page. Once the repository is created in the Informatica administrator home page, then add them in the Power Center Repository Manager tool. In this manner, add them. Okay, here assume, for example, this is the repository not added. This is newly created repository. Assume like that. Assume Informatica administrator created one repository. Name of the repository is info underscore REP. Assume. Now what we need to do? We need to add that repository here. How to add the repository? Go to repository tab and click on add repository. And give the title for the repository. Enter the name of the repository. Info underscore REP. So this is the repository name is given by the administrator. And here we can enter the username. Username is owner name. Owner name of the repository. Here owner name is administrator is the owner name. Administrator is the owner name. Enter the owner name. Click on OK. The repository added. Now we can configure. How to configure? Right click. Click on configure domains. Click on configure domains and click on refresh. Here see here in the server, what are the repository details are available? How many number of repositories are available at server? Running at server. See totally 9 repositories are running. Our repositories info underscore REP. Just you can configure. Just you can refresh. It was configured automatically. These are all running repositories at server. Okay, these services are maintained by the administrator, managed by the administrator in the repository manager tool, or created by the administrator in the Informatica administrator home page. We can discuss later how to create repositories, integration services, users, user groups in Informatica administrator home page. Okay, now click on OK. Now here, this is the, just tell me. What?
This is requirement. I mean, requirement for so many repositories, repositories are
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, here as per the requirement only, these many number of repositories are created by the administrator as per the business requirements. Okay. Okay, you are one of the ETL developers. You have the permissions to connect to this info underscore REP, assume like that. Okay. I'll show you how to give the permissions to the ETL developer to work on particular repository. Okay. Okay, default user is administrator. Right click and click on connect. Here, as an administrator, connecting to this repository with his username. His username is administrator. Password is admin. Click on connect. It was connected. Okay. Now here these are all the repository folders already created previously. Okay. Now here, what we need to do, according to development convenience, we can create one repository folder. Okay, for our training purpose, I can create one repository folder. Okay, within this repository. How to create a folder? Go to folder step, click on create, and enter the name of this folder. Folder name is like, for example, training. Training is the folder name. Okay, and go to permissions. The default user is administrator. If you want to add another user, click on add. At the server, these many number of users and groups are available. You can select one user. Okay, for example, okay, Shankar is the user I am selecting. Click on add, but we don't know the, because see here, this is the user has only read permissions right now. If this user has read permissions, even though we enabled write and execute permission for the current user, so we need to restart. We need to restart the services, then only this user has write and execute permission. Immediately, this user has no permissions to work on current repository folder. This is our repository folder. We need to restart the service. Otherwise, we need to enable this write and execute permissions, grant these permissions in the informatic administrator homepage. The current user has no permissions to work on current repository as well as repository folder also. Click on OK. We can add the users like this. For future purpose also, we can add the users with various permissions. So the default user is administrator, is the default user for this one, training. Now disconnect. Here in the repository manager tool, as an administrator, manage the repositories, manage the repository folders, manage the users to work on the respective repository folders, and manage the ETL metadata contents also. Okay, here in this repositories, ETL metadata contents are saved. ETL metadata contents are saved in the permanent manner, like sources, targets, transformations, maplets, mappings. All are called as ETL metadata contents. Okay, that metadata contents are stored in one place, that is called as repository. This repository was created by the administrator in the informatic administrator homepage. So once initial work is completed in the repository manager tool, then exit from the repository manager. Then you can go to designer. This is the designer tool. So within this designer tool, this is the left side window is called as repository navigator window. Okay, we can call it as a repository navigator window. Within this window, it lists out the all available repositories. It lists out the all available repositories, whether these repositories are active or inactive. All added repositories are listed here. In the repository manager tool, we can add active repositories as well as inactive repositories also. So what are the repositories are added in the repository manager tool? All are listed in the Power Center Designer tool also. Now here, if you want to connect to the particular repository allocated to you, right click and click on connect. The default user is administrator, but we given name is like Shankar. I think password is also Shankar, I think. Just see here, designer cannot connect to the repository. You might not have privileges to use this designer. The repository service is synchronizing the user with the users in this domain. You cannot synchronize with the current user. Okay, try again in a few minutes or contact the domain administrator. Okay, here just now we added one user with read, write and execute permissions also. Default read permissions are given. We enable write and execute permissions also. When that write and execute permissions are available for the current user, if that service is restarted, in the informatic administrator home page. The service is restarted, then only that current user has read, write, and execute permissions. Okay, but in the during the runtime, people who are working with a particular repository, even new user is added, don't restart the service. What happened? If the service is restarted, then sessions are aborted for other users. Okay, running sessions are aborted for the other users. That's why don't disturb the work done by the system in the background. Okay. Okay, administrator is the default user. Now we are connected to the current repository with administrative credentials. For administrator, password is admin. It was connected, and here administrator has the privileges to work on all repositories. Yeah, for all repositories, default user is administrator. Okay. Now this is the training. For training also, default user is administrator. Okay, these are all content folders. Okay, this is the repository name, repository folder name, and content names. Content folder names. Content means ETL metadata contents. The ETL metadata contents are stored in the repository in the organized manner, in the systematic order. Okay. Now what we need to do here, once you connect it to the repository and select your repository folder and expand, then only these tools are enabled. Okay. The Power Center Designer, we have various tools like Source Analyzer, Target Designer, Transformation Developer, Maplet Designer, Mapping Designer. These are the various tools are available here. Okay. Yeah, as an ETL developer, we are working with the designer tool. The repository manager tool available for the administrator. Okay, here in this designer, we have various tools are like first one is Source Analyzer. Second one is Target Designer. Transformation Developer. Maplet Designer. And Mapping Designer. Fifth one is the Mapping Designer. These are the 5 tools are available. Okay. Source Analyzer, Target Designer, Transformation Developer, Maplet Designer, Mapping Designer. Okay, here you can find out them also in the drop down list. First one is Source Analyzer. What is the purpose of the Source Analyzer? Source Analyzer is used to connect to the available source systems and import necessary sources. Okay, Source Analyzer tool allows you to connect to the available source systems like either RDBMS source systems or file systems. RDBMS means Relational Database Management Systems. File systems means flat files, XML files, COBOL files, Excel files. Excel files means only .csv files. Okay, here we can connect to the any kind of source systems and import necessary sources. Okay, once imported, then we can identify them as like a master as well as detail. So we can identify these sources are like a master as well as detail in the Source Analyzer tool. Okay, based on the relationship. Okay, after that, save them to the repository. Okay, now I can show you how to connect to the available source systems. Okay, for our practice, first of all, we can discuss about RDBMS systems. If source system is an RDBMS system, then how to connect to the RDBMS system through ODBC data source name. So through ODBC data source name, we can connect to the RDBMS system. Any RDBMS, either Oracle database, DB2, Sybase, SQL Server, for any database, we can connect through ODBC data source name only. Okay, now here if you want to import necessary sources from the available source system, the source system is RDBMS, then go to Sources tab, click on Import from Database. We are importing necessary sources from the RDBMS system. Now here in this import tables window, to connect to the database, first we can select ODBC data source name. Here in real time, we are working with existing ODBC data source names. These names are created by the administrators, core administrators. Core administrator create these ODBC data source names. Otherwise, we can create. ourselves, we can create ODBC data source names also. Okay, ODBC means Open Database Connectivity. Okay, what is ODBC? Open Database Connectivity. Okay, using this ODBC data source name, we can connect to the available source system is like RDBMS systems. Okay, here ODBC data source is an interface. Here ODBC data source var_start is an interface to connect to the Oracle database, that to particular user. Okay, actually Oracle database is a user-oriented system. What is Oracle database? Oracle database is a user-oriented system, and each user has set of objects called as one schema. That objects are like either tables, views, and synonyms comes under database objects that are available in one place, that is user, also called as schema. The Oracle database point of view, user is called as schema, contains set of database objects like tables, views, and synonyms that are treated as sources. Okay. Hello, Nike.
Yeah.
Did you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, just now here I am trying to import necessary sources from the available source system. Here our source system is RDBM system. Within that RDBM system, we have various users, like Oracle database is a user-oriented system. So through ODBC data source name, we are connected to the particular user available in the Oracle database. Okay, I'll show you that one also, how to create a data source name. Here we can enter username, owner name as well as password to connect to the SCOT user available in the Oracle database. Okay. Here if we want to connect to the SCOT user available in the database, first we can enter the username, next owner name, and finally password. Password is typed. Now click on connect. It was connected. Now we can select tables. Here we have tables, views, and synonyms. Here in the database, database objects are categorized like tables, views, and synonyms. At a time, we can select only one category. Multiple categories not possible to select at a time. Here we can select either tables or views and synonyms. Okay, at a time, we can select only one category of the objects. I am selecting table objects. EMP, DEPT. As per the requirement, you can select what are the objects are needed. You can select those objects and click on OK. Here we can import tables, views, and synonyms as sources, not only tables. Here you can import tables, views, and synonyms as sources. Here we imported DEPT table, EMP table, as well as salary table. Clearly, you can observe here in between DEPT and EMP, there is a relationship, that to primary key to foreign key relationship. Okay, clearly you can observe here in this manner. Here in the DEPT table, department number is a primary key that should be defined as a foreign key in the EMP table. Then here primary key table is called as parent table, foreign key table is called as child table. The parent table is also called as master table, and the child table is also called detail table. Okay, based on primary key to foreign key relationship, we can identify the tables are like a master table as well as detail table. Okay, here for salary table, we don't have any relationship. It is an independent table. For independent tables, there is no relationship for the independent tables. Okay, the only relationship between the relational tables, primary to foreign relationship. Okay, dependent tables. EMP table is a dependent table for the DEPT table. Okay, DEPT is a parent and EMP is a child. The parent table is also called as a master table, and child table is also called as detailed table. Okay. Now go to repository tab, click on save. Okay, now these are saved in the repository in the permanent manner. Even though we cleared these objects from the workspace of source analyzer, but still those are available in the left hand side. Go to this content folder, sources content folder, expand var_start. var_start is a data source name. Under this data source name, we have three tables: DEPT, EMP, and salary. Okay. At any point of time, we can drag them to the workspace of the source analyzer like this. At any point of time. Okay. Now, once we imported necessary sources from the various source systems one after another, then you can go to target designer. We can go to target designer. This is the target designer. Go to tools tab, click on target designer, or here these are the shortcuts. This is the source analyzer symbol, this is the target designer symbol. In the target designer symbol, we can import necessary targets and we can edit them. Okay, edit the targets in the target designer tool. Okay, and reflect the changes to the target database again. Okay, now we are in the target designer. you want to import necessary targets from the target database, again you can follow same steps. So what are the steps we followed to import sources from the source systems to the Power Center Designer using source analyzer tool? Same steps we can follow to import necessary targets from the target database to the Power Center Designer tool using Target Designer. So now we are in the Target Designer. If you want to import necessary targets from the target database, actually here our target database is warehouse. Warehouse is our target database. Okay, our target database is warehouse. Then here if you want to connect to the target, then go to target tab, click on import from database. Now in this import tables window, we can select ODBC data source name from the drop down list. Okay, here without ODBC data source name, we can't import tables. We can't import them. Data source name must be needed. But import, so enter the username, owner name, password. Click on connect. Here I am entering username, owner name, both are same. Reason is tables available in the user. Who is the owner of the tables available in the user? Current user means user itself owner. The user itself owner for the tables are available in the current user. That's why we entered username, owner name, both are same. Now click on connect. Now here you can find out here. So what are the tables are needed? You can select the tables, target tables. Okay, select necessary target like this. Okay. Okay, select necessary target tables, then click on OK. Now selected target tables are imported and displayed in the workspace of the target designer. Okay, we imported target tables. Okay, here in this manner. What are the target tables we selected? All are imported and displayed in the workspace of the target designer. So once imported, then we can identify the target tables also. We not only identify the source tables, but also we can identify the target tables like which is parent, which is the child. Actually, dimension tables are the parent tables, and the fact tables are the child tables. Here our target is warehouse. Warehouse contains dimension tables and fact tables. All are arranged together or connected together in the form star schema. Okay. Here a warehouse is designed in the form star schema, contains dimension tables are surrounded with one fact table, that is star schema. Single fact table surrounded with the dimension tables called a star schema. Okay. Now from that star schema we can import necessary dimension tables and fact tables. We can import them. The dimension table is a parent table and fact table is a child table. So we can identify the dimension tables and fact tables as parent and child. After that, we can save them to the repository. Go to repository tab, click on save. Now all imported objects are saved to the repository. Okay, all are saved. Okay. Now here, once we imported necessary sources and targets, now as per the requirement, target tables are imported. Once we imported necessary target tables from the target database, as per the requirement, we can build the logic as mapping in the mapping designer. Okay. Once we imported necessary sources as well as targets one after another, then save them to the repository. After that, build the logic. Build the logic as a mapping. ETL logic as a mapping. Okay. Where we can build the ETL logic as a mapping, we can build the ETL logic as a mapping in the mapping designer. Okay. Now this is the mapping designer tool. In this mapping designer tool, as per the requirement, we can create a mapping. Here our requirement is for example, this is the EM_FCT is our requirement. So within this requirement, I want to keep employee details as well as the department details. See here within this EM_FCT is our target table. So within this target table, we need to keep employee details as well as the department details also. Here employee details and department details are available in two tables. The DEPT table as well as EMP table. Here we have two tables. Okay, here data, required data is available in two tables. Both are relational in nature. One is DEPT, another one is EMP. Okay, here this is our requirement. We need to insert employee details as well as department details within a single target table. That's the requirement. Okay, as per the requirement, what we need to do, we need to build a mapping in the mapping designer. Here sources are available, target is also available. Then build the logic. If you want to build the logic, then you can go to mapping designer and enter the name of the mapping. Go to mapping step, click on create. Enter the name of the mapping is like EMP as well as DEPT. Okay, what we need to do, we need to merge employees data as well department data and insert into single target table. That is called as join. If you have relational data in two tables, then you can join them. Then you can join them and keep the data after join, keep the data into single target table. Okay. Click on OK. So now here what we need to do here, once we given suitable title for the mapping, then we can select necessary sources from the repository navigator. EMP as well as DEPT both are needed. Select necessary sources, then drag and drop to workspace of mapping design. Drag and drop like this. Okay, next here, what is the next step here? Once we drag necessary sources from the repository navigator to the workspace of the mapping designer, automatically for every source, one transformation was created. By default, one transformation created for each source automatically. Name of the transformation is source qualified transformation. See here for DEPT, SP_DEPT is the source qualified transformation was created with the same structure. Okay, for EMP, SP_EMP is the source qualified transformation is created with the same structure. Okay, this is the default transformation created automatically. We don't want to create manually. Okay, source qualifier is the default transformation created automatically for the respective source like this. Okay, next select target. This is our target table. Drag and out to mapping designer. Okay, within this target table we can keep employee details as well as department details. Okay, we can get the employee details from the EMP table, DEPT details from the department details from the DEPT table. So both are relational tables. Okay, do you know if you have relational data available in two tables, then what we need to do? If you want to read the data from the two relational tables, what we need to do? Then we can join them. We can join the two relational tables to get the relational data based on join condition. Okay, we can join them based on join condition. Okay, here also, if you have relational data in two tables, if you want to join it, then we can use joiner transformation. Okay, what we need to do here, we can use joiner transformation to join relational data available in two sources. Okay, one is master, another one is detail. Here DEPT is the master because of it has primary key. The primary key table is a master table, and if same column is repeated in another table as a foreign key, then foreign key column table is called as detail table. Here EMP is a detail table, DEPT is a master table. Then what we need to do here, we need to join this DEPT as well as EMP table. We need to join them by using joiner transformation. If you want to join relational data available in two sources, then we can use joiner transformation. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, did you understand or not?
Yes. I am understanding some doubt are there. You can
Please tell me.
at the end, please.
Okay then. Okay, now here I am using joiner transformation because of here I want to join these two relational sources. This is a joiner transformation. Okay, select it from the transformation bar and place the cursor on workspace. Now empty transformation was created here. Okay, within this transformation we can join relational data. Okay, one is detailed, another one is master. Here we have two relational sources. One is detailed one, another one is master one. First of all, we can select necessary codes from the detailed source. We know that EMP is a detailed source. Okay, that's why select the necessary codes from the detailed source qualifier. Then drag and drop to joiner transformation first. Compulsory we need to follow this procedure. See here, source type is detailed for the detailed source because of we drag ports from the detailed source to the joiner transformation first. By mistake, if you can drag ports from the master source to the joiner transformation first, then also source type is detailed for master also. That's why first we can drag and drop ports from the detailed source to the joiner transformation first. Next we can drag and drop necessary ports from the master source to the joiner transformation later. We don't want to drag all ports, drag only required ports. The country is the column is not needed for the target. The target we don't have country column. That's why no need to drag to the joiner transformation. Okay, drag only required ports. Don't drag unwanted ports. Just you can ignore them. Okay. Now here in this joiner transformation, we need to apply the join condition. The joiner transformation working based on join condition. Okay, now we can apply the join condition in the joiner transformation. How to apply? Double click on the joiner, go to condition tab and add a new condition, and from the master as well as details select common column. Okay, here it is always equijoin. In the joiner transformation, you can apply only equijoin. An unequijoin is not possible in the joiner transformation. Only join condition is defined based on equijoin only. See here, this is the equal to operator. We can't change this operator here. We can't change. Always equal to operator because it is an equijoin. Click on apply and click on OK. Now we can connect the necessary ports from the joiner transformation. Select necessary ports from the joiner transformation, then connect them to the input ports of the target. Here depart number is available 2 times. That's why we can select only depart number only 1 time. Don't select 2 times. We can leave, no problem. Okay, here in the joiner transformation, join relational data based on join condition. If join condition is satisfied, and select the matched rows. When join condition is satisfied, if that rows are matched rows, both DEPT and EMP both are has matched rows. That matched rows are selected based on join condition and insert that matched rows to the respective target. Okay. In this manner, we can build the logic. Within this logic, we use the joiner transformation. Source qualifiers are default. We don't want to count them at present. Here we can join the relational data, the joiner transformation based on join condition. By default, it is an equijoin. That too, it is an inner join. That means only matched rows are selected and non-matched rows are rejected. The joiner itself, only matched rows are selected by default and non-matched rows are rejected. Okay, and selected matched rows are inserted to the respective target. Okay, here what are the matched rows are available here? That matched rows are inserted to the respective target. Validate it. Initially, we can validate the mapping. See here, you can find out in the output window also. Okay, mapping passing is completed with no errors and mapping is valid. So passing is completed with no errors and mapping is valid. Now here, what we need to do? Save to the repository. Okay, initially it was inserted. This is the new mapping we created. For the first time, we can save it in the repository. While saving this one, it is treated like an inserted one because of here our mappings are saved in the repository. Okay, mapping is also one of the ETL metadata contents saved in the repository in the permanent manner. First time it is inserted. From next time onwards, if you are trying to apply any kind of changes, then it was updated in the repository. Okay. Okay, within our mapping, we have only one transformation. Name of the transformation is joiner transformation. Okay. Now we can test it whether it is working fine or not. We want to test it after validation. Then go to workflow manager. Within this workflow manager, we can reconnect to the repository. Already it was connected, reconnect because of we created one new repository folder that was not updated to the respective repository in the workflow manager. That's why disconnect and reconnect. Then you can get that folder, newly created folder. Okay, now we can find it. This is the training. Right now, nothing is available. In this workflow manager tool, what we need to do? The workflow manager tool, we can create a workflow with a set of tasks and link those tasks either in the sequential manner or concurrent manner. Okay, we can create a workflow with a set of tasks. At least one task. Name of the task is called a session task. Okay, session task is the main task to create a workflow. Okay. Now go to Tools tab. Here also we have 3 tools in the workflow manager: task developer, workflow designer, and workflow designer. Okay, here also we have 3 tools in the task developer. The first one is task developer. What is the purpose of the task developer? Task developer is used to create a task for reusability. It is used to create a task for reusability. Okay. Next one is workflow designer. It is used to create a workload with a set of tasks for reusability, same as like a transformation developer. In the designer tool, what is the purpose of the transformation developer? transformation developer is to create a transformation for reusability. Okay, and this is the maplet designer. Maplet designer is used to create a maplet with a set of transformations for reusability. If you want to build the logic, single transformation is not sufficient to build the logic for reusability, then you can go to maplet designer. In this transformation developer, if you want to build the logic for reusability, single transformation is sufficient, then you can go to transformation developer and build the logic within the transformation. Within the particular transformation, the transformation is available for reusability. That means use that transformation more than one mappings if needed. For example, here also we have joiner transformation. This transformation created in our mapping. That's why it is a non-reusable transformation. If any transformation was created in the mapping designer tool, that is non-reusable transformation. That means not available for reusability. Or if you created any transformation, the transformation developer, this is the transformation developer. In this transformation developer, if you created any transformation, then the transformation is available for reusability. Okay, here we can build individual transformations. Okay, we can't build a logic with multiple transformations. We can't link them in the transformation developer. If you want to link them as a single object for reusability, then you can go to maplet designer. The maplet designer tool, we can create a maplet with a set of transformations for reusability. Same manner in the workflow manager also. The workflow manager tool, we have task developer, which is used to create a task for reusability. Okay. Next one is workload designer. Workload designer is used to create a workload with a set of tasks for reusability. And finally, we can create the workflow and the workflow designer. Okay, here we have task developer, which is used to create a task for reusability. Next one is the workload designer, which is used to create a workload with a set of tasks for reusability. And the final one is workflow designer. Which is used to create a workflow with a set of tasks for reusability. Okay, whether the tasks are either reusable tasks, reusable worklets, or non-reusable tasks also. Okay, we can create a workflow in the workflow designer tool with a set of tasks, and the tasks are either reusable tasks, reusable worklets, or non-reusable tasks also. Sometimes we can create a workflow with a non-reusable task if you don't have any reusability. Okay. So now we can discuss. Assume here we don't have any reusable needs. That's why directly can create a workflow in the workflow designer tool. Directly can create. Where in the workflow designer tool, we can create a workflow. Go to workflows tab, click on create, and enter the name of the workflow. WF underscore. Here clearly can observe here what are the naming conventions I am following here for mapping. See here M underscore. M means mapping. Okay, we can identify this one as this logic as a mapping logic. How to identify? Based on the name M underscore. We can prefix the name of the mapping with M. Because of here we can move these mappings in the form files. Name of the files are XML files. We can move the mappings in the form XML file format. Okay, then here if any XML file is there, how to identify that XML file contains mapping details. Mapping information is available within that XML file. How to identify based on the name only. Okay. The same manner here also workflow. We can create a workflow with the name, with some name. That name is prefixed with WF. WF means workflow manager. Sorry, workflow only. WF means workflow. Shortcut of the workflow is WF. Okay. By default, start task is created here. By default, start task is created. Now we can create this is the session task. This is the taskbar. From this taskbar, select session task and place the cursor on workspace. Right now in the current repository folder, we have only one mapping. We don't have multiple mappings. So we have only one mapping in the current repository folder. This is a valid mapping. Here we can create a session task and valid mapping available in the repository. That was single mapping, not multiple mappings. Click on OK. Now session task is created. This session task contains one mapping, contains two sources and one target. The sources are imported from this cart user and target is available in the DWH user. Now we can link them by using this is the link task. Using this link task, we can link start task with session task like this. First we can place the cursor on start task and next place the cursor on session task. Now link task is established. Okay, link task. It is a default, start as a default task. It initiates the integration service during the runtime to run the set of tasks that are available in the current workflow. And here in our current workflow, we have only one task. Within the task, we have a mapping. Click on session task, go to mapping tab. Within our mapping, we have two sources and one target and one transformation. These sources are imported from the start user. DPT and EMP both are imported from the start user. And the target is available in the database user and contains primary key. See here, this is the database connection. We can choose the database connection, shoutable database connection for the sources and targets. Only for RDBMS. Sources and targets, we can specify the DB connection. Okay. And if target table has primary key, actually our target table has primary key. Yeah, employee number is the primary key in our target table. It's the primary key. That's why if target table has primary key, then we can choose target load type as normal. Okay. If target table has no primary key, then choose target load type as bulk. Okay. The target table has primary key, then choose normal. If target table has no primary key, then choose bulk. Here right now our target table has primary key. That's why you can choose normal. Okay. If you forgot to change this target load type from bulk to normal, still it is bulk, then execution was failed. Okay. Bulk mode is on. If target table has primary key, bulk mode is on, then session failed. Okay. Fail the session execution during the runtime. That's why if target table has primary key, then compulsory you can choose target load type as normal instead of bulk. Okay. Now click on apply. Click on apply. Okay, workflow creation completed in the workflow designer tool. Once workflow is created, then we can validate the workflow, then save to the repository. Okay, now it was saved in the repository. Okay. Now start the workflow and observe the status in workflow monitor. Here right click on the session task, click on data and properties. Then here showing the status of task, current task, like how many number of rows are extracted, how many number of rows are loaded to the target. Totally how many number of rows are extracted? 18 rows extracted and 14 rows loaded to the target. 18 rows means clearly you can observe here. Go to statistics. Here 14 rows extracted from the EMP table, 4 rows extracted from the DBT table, 14 plus 4, total 18 rows. Okay, here individually rows are extracted from the various sources. Okay, 4 rows from the DBT and 14 rows from the EMP. Total are 18. Total count of source success rows are 18. And how many number of rows are loaded to the target? 14 number of rows. You can find out here. 14 in the sense here in the based on the join condition in the joiner transformation, we got 14 rows. Okay, here from EMP 14 rows. We are getting 14 rows. These 14 rows are verified with the 4 rows extra from the DBT. Here we are joining, not combining. Don't think it is a combining. It is joining. We are joining the data in the horizontal manner to find out the matched rows. How many number of matched rows are there? Here we have 14 number of matched rows. That 14 number of matched rows are inserted to the target. Okay. From the joiner transfer we got 14 number of rows, 14 number of matched rows. That 14 number of matched rows are inserted to the respective target table. Okay. This is the information about joiner transformation. So by default, it is a normal join to select only matched rows. Here, totally 14 matched rows are selected from the joiner. That 14 matched rows are inserted to the target also. Okay. Now you can ask me what are the questions. If you have, then you can ask me.
Yeah. Mm. You told the dimension and fact. Dimension is
Hmm.
parent and fact is child. So I didn't
Hmm.
get that one exactly.
Warehouse terminology. That is warehouse terminology. In the warehouse terminology,
Hmm.
dimension tables and fact tables. Okay, that are also database tables. You can give the names like that. Dimension and fact. Okay, dimension in the sense, for example, if you want to analyze the business, dimensions means various ways. Country wise, that is country is one dimension. Time year
Hmm.
is another dimension. Product is some other dimension. Okay, in a business, we need to analyze the business country wise based on products and particular period of time. For example, in the year of 2018, you launch one product in the market. In Indian market, you launch one product. For example, four-wheeler, one car. So one car you launch. You are a owner of that respective manufacturing company, cars company,
Hmm.
cars
Hmm.
manufacturing company. You are the owner. You launch one product, one new product. That means new vehicle, new four-wheeler to the Indian market. So within in the year of 2018, based on that particular model, you need to find out the revenue. Okay, here what are the dimensions are there? Country is the dimension, year is the dimension, and product is the dimension. These are the dimensions. These dimension details are available in one table that is called a dimension table. Okay,
Okay.
and what is fact table means revenue. Revenue is the fact. In the warehouse terminology, measures are called as facts. Measures means calculated columns. The revenue is the calculated column. Profit is the calculated column. In the year of 2018, in the countries like Indian country, Indian market, that means
Hmm.
country name is India, based on particular product, we need to find out the revenue as well as profit. The details are available in the fact table. Okay.
Okay.
Facts information is available in the fact table and dimension information is available in the dimension table. The dimension, that means country is the parent, year is the parent, product is the parent, revenue, profit are the child. Okay. That information is available in the fact table in the form of star schema. Okay. Single fact table surrounded with multiple dimension tables, country dimension, product dimension, year dimension. Facts like sales fact table contains sales revenue, sales profit for the vehicles. Okay.
Okay.
In the warehouse terminology, tables are called dimension tables and fact tables. In the source terminology, tables are called as master table and detail table. The source point of. Okay, for source point you can go for database terminology. Whereas for target point you can go for warehouse terminology. The warehouse point of view, tables are called as dimension tables and fact tables. Actually, that are also database tables. But we can give this suitable title for the tables like dimension tables and fact tables. Okay.
So next is that master in detail. You said
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
will uh,
Hmm.
while joining two tables,
Hmm. Hmm.
which one to be considered master, which one to be detail. That is, I think
Compulsory. We need to identify that while working with the joiner. Because a process can be done in the reverse manner. If you can define them in the reverse manner, execution is also done in the reverse manner. The reverse process takes lot of time. Okay, reverse
okay.
process.
So first
Okay.
we should
Hmm. Hmm.
the detail, then master.
Yes, yes. Then master one by one you can track them to the joiner transformation one after another. Okay.
Okay, then which one to be master, which one to be detail? That is how we
Mandatory
will
to
decide.
identify. Decide means here. That's why we are taking the training. How
Hmm.
will decide in the sense. Okay, here in our training we are discussing right what is master, what is detail. The DPD is the master and EMP is the detail because of here each department has multiple employees, right?
Hmm.
Multiple employees are working for one department.
Hmm.
There is a one-to-many relation, one for parent and n for the child, many for the child. So for example, one parent
Hmm.
has many children, one child has
Hmm.
one and only parent, right? That is called as primary key to one key relationship. The primary key table is a parent table, also called a master table. Okay, foreign key
Hmm.
table is a child table, also called a detailed table. Okay, foreign key table is a detailed table, and primary key table is a master table. Okay,
Hmm.
so one parent has many children. There is a one-to-many relation from parent to child. Okay.
Hmm. And that bulk and normal, you said if
Hmm.
there is no
Yeah,
primary.
Yes, if no primary key in the target table, then choose bulk.
So
By
in that
default,
case,
bulk.
by
Hmm.
default bulk, but we can run that
Hmm.
on but not normal as well.
Hmm. Yes. So we need to change it for normal because of target table has primary key. Even though
Hmm.
target table has no primary key, then also you can change. It's not an issue. Okay.
Okay, so why this is I mean doing bulk and normal in case of primary
Hmm.
and not primary?
Yeah,
That is the
actually, primary key, foreign key information related to database. Okay.
hmm.
Database. If you have a table in the database contains primary key. Okay. Here, if you selected target load type as bulk in the sense without verification, insert the data to the target. Normal means with verification. Okay, before inserting the data to the, you need to verify the rows. Whether that respective primary key column values contains repeated values or null values. Okay, actually, if target table has primary key, the primary key accepts only unique values, that are not null values. Okay, unique and not null. We need to check the rows before insert them to the target. If we want to check them, we need to off bulk mode. We need to off in the sense we can switch to normal. Then bulk mode is off. Okay, if it is normal, then before insert the rows to the target, our system will verify the rows whether respective column contains null values, respective column contains repeated values. If the value is repeated, that row is rejected. And if the value is null, then that row is rejected, and that rejected rows are maintained some other place, that is called as bad files. Okay.
That means
Okay.
normal mode compared to both
Hmm.
normal and bulk mode is
Hmm.
faster.
Hmm. Bulk mode is faster, yes. Without verification, insert the rows. Bulk means. If we are working with bulk amount of data, we need
Hmm.
to dump that bulk amount data in a faster manner, then you can choose bulk. Then don't define the primary key in the target table. Don't expect the primary key. Okay.
Hmm.
Even though target system is a database system, and the target tables are database tables, don't expect the primary keys. Okay. If you want to insert data in the faster manner with bulk mode,
Hmm.
don't define any key constraints in the target. Okay.
Okay. This much of doubt.
Okay. I think you told me you have software, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Already software is running in your laptop. Software is already there.
Yes.
Okay. 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 You can also practice to know what we discussed. I can
Hmm.
send that entire recorded session. Right now, our session is recording. Once our
Hmm.
session is completed, once our session is closed, then I can download that recorded session and send it to you through mail. Okay. And I can send material also, training material also to you for your practice. Okay. You can also practice up to know what we discussed. You can also practice with joiner transformation.
Okay.
Okay,
Anything
then if
else
you
to be
have
practiced for tomorrow?
what?
Anything else to be practiced for tomorrow class? I mean, tomorrow what we are going to start? Transformation?
Transformations only. Okay, here today's class we completed joiner transformation, but this is not a final. But up to know what we designed, up to know what we discussed, you can also
Hmm.
practice in your side. Okay, and while you are practicing, if you have any doubts, then you can ask me tomorrow session. Okay,
Yeah.
so tomorrow we'll meet at our time 9:30. Okay,
Hmm.
9:30 in the morning. Okay.
Hmm.
You told me you will send amount through Paytm, right? To Paytm or
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
Pay. Yes. Okay. Okay, you can
Paytm
send
also.
all the amount. Yes.
Okay. Paytm same number, na?
No, same number.
Okay.
Okay, you can use
Is
same number for anyone. Okay, Phone
yeah,
Pay or Google Pay or anything. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, you send me half of the amount now, and remaining amount, the rest of the amount you can pay next week, next month. Okay. Next month,
Okay.
first week.
Okay. 5K I will send today.
Okay. Okay. Once you
Okay.
send, then you can give me the information. Okay, on WhatsApp you can text me.
I'll send now in Paytm. Same number Paytm.
Yes, yes, you can send it to me. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, then can I end the meeting?
Yeah. And
Okay
you
then.
where you were
Yes,
sending this one in my Gmail?
yes, Gmail. Yes, I'll send it to you
Okay.
on Gmail. Okay. Okay then.